We got the trailer unhooked here. So we can hook up to the tender for the dry spreader. Hop up in here. And hook it up. So we got this dry tender trailer a long time ago. I don't ever remember getting it. I don't know when they got it for sure, but I don't know if you can see it. Somebody at a co-op turned it over, flipped it over once and wrecked it, and they were gonna just total it. So they bought it off him really cheap. So that's part of the reason we have a dry tender. It's not the nicest looking tender, but it does the job for sure. So now we just gotta check all the tire pressures in it and get the hydraulic hoses hooked up front, get those cleaned out, hooked up. And then that'll be ready, and then we can go to town and fill it up with what we need. So we had to air these back tires up like every day because the tires are getting old, and we used it on our dirt scraper and would go down in a ditch, and the ditches are like this, and the ditches were pressing in on these tires and wedged some mud in there that you can't ever really get it all out, so it was always leaking. And the tires, like I said, the tires were bad anyway, so we just went ahead and replaced them so they don't have to air them up as much. But we're just gonna check them just in case. So right there it says never exceed 51. We usually put 30, 35 in them, so they're a little low because it's just been sitting in this cold shop. This side. And that's about the same. Well, I had to bring the tractor over to our other Quonset here where our dry spreader is. It's only about a mile away, so it's not too far. This building's just mostly storage. Don't have any lights in here yet. Just got it cleaned out. Gotta clean the ends off here because I don't like getting dirt in the hydraulics. And these are all labeled. That says return. Which one's return? Pressure, return. This one says number 1 in. In's always towards the center of the tractor. Got number 2 in. I know they make things that can go around the hose that tell you where they go, but this is just how we've done it. This is return. I'm gonna have to wait until we get back to the pull this out. Cable goes up in the cab to the scale. So here's our screen. This is our hydraulics button. I usually keep that pretty low at first to make sure nothing's wrong, so I don't ruin nothing. And then I gotta go here and go to continuous, so it spins, the spinners spin the whole time, continuous. And then that tells me what they're running, that's what they're supposed to run. So I'll click it on here. So I run 350. Speed it up to 470. $650. $760. It's close enough. And 2, I gotta go to continuous. That's the conveyor in the middle. Well, good morning, everybody. This morning we're gonna take the truck in and fill it up with fertilizer, MAP, and that is about 42,000 pounds we can fit in there. So this morning we're going to try to maybe get a little bit spread. It's only about 10, 11 mile an hour wind. Anything above that, especially above 15, we don't like to spread with the spinner spreader, just for the fact that the wind affects the spread pattern a little bit and it doesn't get out to the whole full 70 feet. So we try to usually get it done early in the mornings or late in the evenings, or hopefully we can get some full days that are around 10 mile an hour so we can get a lot done. Well, we just arrived at the fertilizer plant here, so I'll show you how it works. Based on that light, you can see he's dumping in there. When he ever turns that light green, that means I gotta move forward. Alright, we're gonna start this up. We're gonna press in the clutch, which engages PTO. That's good for things. Auger lift. Just got this clear full this morning. So I'll get my pickup out of the way and we'll just back up under that and fill it up. Promise I did not fishtail to turn this around. We'll climb on up here, show you what we got. So our spread map, this is 1152, 0, 11 units, nitrogen, 15 units of phosphorus, and 0 of potassium. Go turn the PTO back on. From here we'll pull this out, speed it up. Right there. You do that so if you get a lot of fertilizer in the auger, you can keep turning and it won't stop. So the bottom's the 8-inch auger, and this is the 10. So you always want to start the unloading first, and then the down low. First, you got to get the scale working. We'll have to open one of these slides. We'll just start at the back here. Okay, we'll open this up. Slide comes out. Turn on the 10. Push these clear forward, they'll run in reverse. Back, turn the right direction. You can just pull forward. Once you can see it go above the top there. Once it gets high enough, he'll just continue to back up. There it is. It runs on the chain, turns like this. We got that set to work. You don't really have to move it unless we put on a heavier product. We'll open it a little wider. But these things just turn like that. So right now I'm going to use this It has, it's like a scale. I'll just fill it up with the fertilizer. Then you move it over so this bubble is right in the middle, and then you have to punch that in the tractor. So you can see right there, we got it filled up. It's right in the middle. That reads about 59 pounds. Take it off here. Dump it in the back. So I opened the front one here so the auger wouldn't run empty all the way to, see that one's gone down there. It's backed up a little at a time. And I'll have to shut it off right before it gets to the front so it doesn't run over. Shut that. I'll let everything empty out. Let that empty out. Then we'll go shut the PTO off in the truck. Push that in, idle it down, clutch, pull up, and back. Turn the key, this old truck, got to pull on this baby to kill her. Not doing nothing. Forgot to check the tires in the cart. Once we put all that on there, tires are squatting a little, so we'll give those a quick check before we head out. Pull it on up to the Quonset here with our new air compressor. About 28. For 28 pounds each. We'll probably blow them up to 40 here. This is too fun. Yep. Off to the field. Most likely he's gonna say something about that, but I'm having fun. So, I don't know if any of you wonder, I mean, it's pretty warm out, things are melting a little bit, so it's a little muddy and stuff, but the ground's still pretty froze from our negative 20 degree and 40 degree wind chill temperatures, so it's pretty hard, so it won't compact it or do much harm. This is the first field we're gonna do. So this farm out here, they used to have ditches out here. Is how they'd irrigate. They'd flood the ditch and then water the field. And my grandpa, this field I think was a little hillier back in the day, but he leveled it completely flat. So I mean, there's some fields next to us up there that got a little hill to them. So I don't know how bad this once was, but he made her flat. So when we snap an AB line here, we have this spread at 70 feet, so that's 28 rows. Take that divided by 2, 14. So we'll go 14 rows away from the edge, so it spreads right to the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14. It was right in the middle. "70 feet at a time." The cool thing about snow is you can see, kind of look at your spread pattern from track to track. You can see your previous path. And you can kind of see how well it's doing across the whole spread pattern width. So I just took over for my dad here. He got one field done and we're just got started on another here. He's got about maybe 30 acres done on this field, so just figured I'd show you what's going on in their cab. So we go with the rows. It's just easier on the tires and stuff. A lot of people go at an angle, but going with the rows is fine for us. We go about 10 mile an hour. That's what was recommended to get a good spread pattern. Spread pattern so the wind doesn't affect it as much if you go too fast. You got a little window so you can kind of see when it gets empty, but when it gets down to the bottom, I think it gets empty around 700 pounds roughly. Right now we're running the spinner speed around 760, but you can get too fast where it just pulverizes the dry, and that's our field totals right there. So on average it's putting on 149 pounds. And we got our strip till mark from 22, just we're running on that. No, just pretty simple. See the chain moving. Right now we're just going along the edge of the pivot, because we're not going to move the pivot, so we just spread on each side of it. See them there going at an angle. And you can see based on this, the map a little bit, and I can get a wider view on the map. So that's our prescription, different rates. Across the field, the darker green is heavier, more, and then red's the least. And anymore, it's just easy to go around the pivot for doing something like this, because dry isn't as crucial as like anhydrous. The last thing to do is turn this baby on. And a little bit of country. What do you guys like to listen to while you're jamming in the tractor? Not too much going on this job, but at least I'm in a tractor. So I'm going 10 mile an hour. With all this stuff, it recognizes my speed, and that determines how fast the chain runs. So if I slow down to nothing, really slow, that chain barely moves. If I speed up, it speeds up. Overall, this is just a good winter job for us when time gets pretty slow. Not much going on besides bills and deciding what to do for next year. This is something we could figure we could do, and rather than having someone else do it and paying them to do it when we have the time. So that's why we spread our own dry.